Hello, hi lovely people, welcome to my bar class today. Now, if you want to work out from home and you want to get a little bit of sweat on, or you may be a beginner or more advanced, I'll give you different options as we move through the class, but it's basically just a way to get you on your feet, learn a few techniques and get fit and tone up the areas that you may want to tone up or just jump around and have some fun. I hope everyone is well, and the main thing is you don't need any equipment here. Get a mat if you can, some water if you need it or want it, and the main thing is to just stick with it. There might be some sensations that you may not be used to, and just stick with it, see what happens, and we'll do this together. As you can see, I'm working from home today, and I'm going to use what I've been given. If you do have a surface just above waist height or a chair to hang on to once we come to the bar bit, just put that to the side for the moment. We're going to start in the center of the room. The main thing is to have fun. Take a big deep breath in, arms overhead, and exhale. 2 more like that. Breathe in. And let all the air go. Last one. Breathe in. As you exhale this time, drop your chin to your chest. Soften your knees. Roll down through your spine. Bone by bone by bone. Just take a little shake at the bottom. Make sure your head is nice and relaxed. Soften your knees and roll all the way up through the spine, bone by bone. We're going to do one more. Shrug the shoulders, pull the belly in, and roll all the way down through the spine. Take a little bend of one knee, then the other. Shake it out and roll all the way up through the spine. We're going to take our arms out to the sides, round our back, tap the backs of the wrists together. Open the arms, turn the palms up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, turn the palms up, tuck the tailbone in that bar tuck as you lift the palms. Arms open again. And we just repeat that a little bit faster. So we tap, open, tuck under, arms open, and we tap. And open, tuck under, and open. Again, tap. And open, tuck under, squeeze the belly, and tap. And open, tuck under, arms overhead. We're just going to lift the inner ankle bone. It's called a little attitude position. Excuse my wires here. So it's like you got a little string on your inner ankle. The knee is slightly wider than the hip. So pull the elbows down. Pull, pull, and pull. Good. So just warming up through the hip flexors and the hamstrings. And pull. And pull. Nice and controlled, nice and slow. Take a little twist towards the knee that you are lifting. 5 more. 5. And 4. And 3. Keep the chest nice and open. 2. From here, round your back, clasp your hands, turn your palms to face away from you. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, press the palms up to the sky. Take a breath in, soften your knees. And as you stretch one arm up, stretch the other one towards the floor. Breathe in and exhale as you take the arm over. Circle it round. And again, clasp the hands, round your back, lift your elbows, breathe in between the shoulders. Turn the palms out to the sky and soften the knees, tuck the pelvis, stretch one arm away from the other. So you're really reaching and lengthening into the side of the waist. Take the arm over, circle it round and come through the center. We're going to stand with our feet together, lift up the toes, turn them out from your pelvis, bend the legs, press the palms out to your sides and press. Nice, graceful, push into an imaginary wall and press. Keep the weight in your heels. Lovely, push through the floor with your heels. A graceful bend and press. Now we don't want to stick the butt out here. We want to keep it under the shoulders so everything is in one line. One line. Arms overhead. We lift them over and down and over and down and over and down. And over, kick leg, and over, kick leg, and over. Notice the toes are turned out, your standing leg stays a little bit soft. Good, and open. Now arms together and wide, together and wide. Lift the leg a little bit higher, press the arms, bend, extend, and bend, extend. For 2, extend, and 1, extend. Now bring plie position. Now watch here that your knees are pretty much landing over your second toe. We don't want to collapse the knees in, we want to turn the knees out. Keep the shoulders over your hips, and we're just going to press and press. Press. Keep the collarbones nice and open, chest stays high. We're going to bend, arm reach, and bend, and reach. Getting into the waistline here, get lower, and bend. Nice big pulses, reaching through the waistline, reach a little bit further. Good, reach. Lovely, hold it center and press. Get as low as you can. Good, now we're going to get in contact with the rhomboids, our little postural muscles, and we're going to pull the elbows back between the shoulder blades. Notice my hands are a little bit wider than my elbows, and I'm going to pull the elbows back and keep pulsing into the legs. I know, it starts to get you here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, turn the palms up, we turn them down and back, up and forwards. Keep pulsing. Remember, you're sliding your back down an imaginary wall. Try not to stick your butt out. Press and press. Good, lovely. Hold the arms out. We're just going to bend, press through the elbows. Keep pulsing in the legs. Can you get your thighs parallel with the floor? Keep pressing last. 8, 7, 6, I know. 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Take your hands to your thighs. Give your legs a little rest now. You're going to press the knees open. Take one shoulder forwards. Breathe. Get that lovely twist. Ooh, lost my balance there. Never a good sign. Inhale, center. And exhale through the center. Inhale. Exhale. This time we're going to turn to your left. So one leg forwards into a little runner's lunge. We're going to start to press the hips down. Opening through this hip flexor, little pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Our first plank sequence. Step both legs back, hands underneath your shoulders. Find your lovely, strong, perfect plank today. And if you can remember what leg you stepped forwards, bring the other leg forwards. And again, we're just going to pulse the hips towards the floor. Last 8, 7, and 6, and 5. Long neck. 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Ground your palms, step back to your plank. Modifiers, you're going to gently bring the knees down to the floor if you need to. If you can, keep your knees away from the floor. Long spine, push the floor away. We're just going to bring one knee to the chest, then the other. Nothing else moves, just bring the knee to the chest. Try not to move the rest of the body. Control it. Shoulders down the back, navel drawn in. If you want to come with me, take a little mountain climber here. Start to run the knees as fast as you can. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, a lovely little downward facing dog. Facing dog here, and again, just pad through the feet. Padding through the feet, stretch through the spine, press your heels down towards the floor. And then as we lift our heels, we're going to gently bring ourselves into all fours position. This is where you want to probably have something underneath your knees. Now I'm going to turn forward so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to extend my right leg behind me. I'm going to take my left arm into a little salute, right by my left ear here. Now one leg, just as long as you go opposite leg, opposite arm, you're going to lift that leg up. Now we're going to hold through the center. We don't want to drop the belly towards the floor. We want to keep it away from the floor. And I'm going to bring that bent elbow towards the opposite wrist and then open the arm out again without this leg kind of flopping all over the place. So it's a stability exercise this. So we tap, lift, tap, and lift. So you're getting a good twist. Use your breath. Exhale to twist. Inhale to open. Exhale. This is how I like to breathe. If you want to breathe a little bit differently, feel free. You could exhale on the way up. Little twist, keeping that raised leg as still as you can. and release. Bring the knee down. Let's straight away take it to the other side. One arm by the ear. Gently lift that leg up by the hamstring. Lengthen everywhere. And tap the wrist to the elbow. Lovely twist. Getting into those obliques. Getting into your waistline a little bit. Good. It's trickier than you think. So we're just going to open. 2 more. And lift. And last one. And lift. Curling the toes under. Let's press the sit bones up to the sky. Breathe into a downward facing dog here. And then we're going to come onto our second plank section here. So again, find your perfect plank today. Remember, you can always bring the knees down to the floor. But otherwise, we're just going to hold this perfect plank. This time, opposite knee towards opposite elbow. Step it back. Other knee in, step it back. And press. And back. And press. And back. And press. If you want to come with me, take a little mountain climber again. Opposite knee towards opposite elbow for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to walk our hands in towards the feet this time. Bend your knees, lift your chest, sit into an imaginary chair. Your weight is behind you. Try not to bring the knees forwards. Push the knees back. So you're sitting on that imaginary chair, long spine. Lovely. And press. Slow squat and press. Weight is in the heels. Slow and press. Slow and press. Hold it back here, press. Press down. Press down, hold. Press down, hold. Flip the palms up, push them to the sky and work with the legs. We press, hold. Press, hold. Push through your triceps. Press, hold. Press, hold. Weight is in the heels. Press, hold. Now double time here. Press, press, press. Arms are strong and long. We're not using weights today. So we really want to get the arms working on their own. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Reach the arms forward. Slowly come up to stand. Give yourself a little lift into the toes. And gently from here, release. Let's do our palate cleanser. Picking up the toes, turn them open. Bend and press the leg. And bend. And bend. Good. On a little diagonal now. One arm lifts up. The other one gracefully opens towards the floor. Last 2. Last one, other side. We fly with our wings. We fly and press. And press. Last 2. Last 1. Good. We're going to step a little bit wider. Feet are parallel. So this time there's no turn out in the legs. We don't want our knees going all over the place. We want to keep them in line with our feet because we want to protect our knees generally as a rule. Going to sink into your left leg. Sink your bottom back into that imaginary chair. Sink to the other side. So we sink side to side and side. Either hold it here if you want to. Take one hand outside opposite foot. Swing top arm to the sky. Good, nice big swings. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. As you come up, we're going to take the weight into your left leg, sink into that chair, sweep your hands just towards the floor. As you come in, step the arms up overhead. Watch the wire. So we lunge and lower, lift the arms, lunge and lower, push the floor away, double time, lunge and lift, and lunge and lift and lunge. If you want to, take that foot inside, the other knee for a little passe. Good. Knee out or forwards, totally up to you. How you like to move. Last 5. Lift and 4. Lift and 3. Lift and 2 to the change. Lift. Last one. We're going to hold it here. Hold. Take your hands onto your waist for a little bit of stability. Now the leg that we were pretty much lunging into is going to go behind us. So that'll be your left leg. Gently bend into your standing leg. Hinge your body forwards. Back leg is going to lift away from the floor. We bend it, extend, bend, extend, bend, extend. We want to squeeze that hamstring. Pull the heel towards the glute. You can always use the wall for support. Feel free. Last 2. Relax the hands to the floor because we're going to find a little balance in our warrior 3 today. Hold it here for 3 and 2 and 1. Step that leg behind you. Now we want to bring the knee a little bit forward, so as we take it towards the floor, it's just behind your hip, not a runner's lunge here. And we're just going to take a little lunge, lift, little lunge and lift, and the arms are going to go with us. Notice I've got one foot in front of each hip, my legs aren't crossed. And lift and bend and lift. Hold it down here. Again, we lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold still. Lift, drop, hold still. Lift, drop, hold. Push through your front heel. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. From here, pulse it down towards the floor. Can you get your knee further towards the floor? As we do this now, I'm going to lean forwards and you'll feel this much more in your glutes. Good, last 4, for 3, for 2 and 1. Step that leg forwards and pulse it here. Our feet are together this time, pulsing into the legs again. Bend your elbows like we did at the beginning. Pull them back down your spine. Press for 7, for 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Release. Step your feet wide and parallel. Second side. Your right leg, I think. We bend it. We lunge into it. And as we step in, arms come overhead. We lunge and lift and lunge and lunge. Feet parallel, last 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1 to hold here. Your lunging leg is going to go back behind you. Point the toe, lean forwards with the torso, bend your standing leg. Back leg lifts, we extend and bend. Really pull through that hamstring, tightening and working that hamstring. Last 5, and 4, and 3. Relax your arms. 2, and 1. Now, as we lift the leg a little bit further, we're going to see if we can find that little warrior 3. Hold for 3, and 2. Lean forwards. 1. Step your leg carefully back into that lunge. So again, one foot in front of each hip. Here we go. Back knee towards the floor. And press. Press it down. And press. Arms just come overhead. Press. Last 2. Hold it down here. 1. From here we lift, drop, hold. Your knee is just an inch away from the floor. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. You can always take your hands to your waist. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. Wherever you want them. Lift, drop, hold. They can be out here. Lift, drop, hold. Lift, drop, hold. Get lower. Lift, drop, hold. We start to pulse it here. So we're standing over our pelvis, and then we're going to start to lean the body forwards. Ooh, hinging. You'll feel it in this glute that's supporting you. Last 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hold here. Step the leg forwards. Feet a hip distance apart. As we pulse into the hips, we're going to take one arm forwards, one arm back. One arm forwards and one arm back. I'm going to move out of the way of this light. Good. Keep pressing. Hold it here if that's where you want to go. If you want to come with me, take a little squat jump for 9, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Have a little circle of the hips. Get your breath back. Deep breaths. Good. Let your heart rate come down just a little bit. Grab yourself a sip of drink before we move to the floor. And this is where you might want to have a yoga mat a carpet or something like that, wherever you want to work. Okay, so we're going to bring one knee underneath its own hip, one hand underneath its own shoulder, the other leg is extended. If this is too much for you, second version is that you're doing the same exercise, but you're just lying on the elbow. Okay, so now try not to pick this version just because you don't want to do the harder one. Go for the harder one first. A hand underneath shoulder, knee underneath hip. Now top arm just behind the ear. Keep the chest nice and open. We want to lengthen the leg as we lift it, lowering it down again. Now we're not lifting it. The aim is not to lift it as high as possible, to move the body around. We want to keep everything here still, including the hips, and the leg is just lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. And this is kind of like a slow burner. Kind of kick in pretty soon. Lifting and lowering. Really lengthen that leg like someone's pulling it out of you. Lifting and lowering. Ah, yeah, it's kind of starting to creep up on me now. Ooh. Lifting that leg, nice control, hold. Now as I sink my hips back, I'm going to bring that leg forwards, do a little crunch, send it back out to the side. So we crunch, extend, and crunch, extend. You're swinging the leg forwards, seeing if you can keep it as high as possible. Swing. Last 4. And 3. And 2. Keep breathing. And 1. Now we're going to do 3 all put together. Tap down, lift up, swing forwards and out. Tap down, lift, forwards. Last 2, down, lift, forwards and out. Last 1, down, lift, forwards. Well done. You're done with that exercise. Whew. Now the leg that was lifting, we want to stretch that out now. So we're going to bring the leg across and just focus on letting that go now, what we've just done. We don't want to hang on to it, right? Excuse me, moving my clothes, the underwear is escaping. So we're going to lift and lengthen the spine. Drop through the hips. And if you want to take a little twist and breathe it out. Lengthen the spine, twist it round. Give yourself a little breather. And then we're going to take a little counter twist. So lean to the hands, the opposite side. Lift your sit bones and bow to the earth. Good. I'm going to release our feet. Take your hands just behind you. Fan your fingers out a little bit. We're going to lift our hips. Now, if you feel you can take your bottom towards your heels, we don't want to do that here. We want to lift the hips and take all of our weight into our arms and push the floor away, long neck. Now triceps here, all we're going to do is 2 little bends. So we're going to bend the elbow again, push through the floor. It's a tiny bend further, push through the floor. Now your hips are going to want to creep towards your heels. We don't want to do that. We want the weight to be back in our arms. So it's a bend, bend, press, bend, bend, press. Bend, bend, press. Tiny little bend, really long press, press. Bend, bend, press. Bend, bend, press. Keep bringing the hips back towards you. Bend, bend, press. Good. Now little bend, bend, press. Single ones this time. Tiny bend, long push. And press, and press, and press. Keep pulling the hips towards the wrists. Bend, press, bend, press. Good. Little break from the legs at least. Bend, press, bend, press. Stay with it. Bend, press. Last 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come with me if you can. From here, we tap the hips down as you bend your elbows. Push the hips to the sky. 5 more for 4. Lift for 3. Lift for 2. Lift for 1. Hold it at the top. Take a deep breath in as you roll your shoulders back. And exhale completely. And what's great is that We have 2 legs, so now we're doing the whole thing the other side. Here we go. We're going to stack the wrist over the shoulder, the hip over the knee, lift our top leg, extend it, other arm round by the ear, and we're just lifting and lowering the leg, and just kind of talking, having a chat with each other. Da da da, lifting and lowering. And you'll have a stronger and a weaker side, of course, always the way, especially as you start to fatigue. Really lengthen that lifted leg, point the toe, pull it out like someone's pulling it away from you. Lifting and lowering. And again, it will take a little while for it to kick in. Nice control here. Try not to let the pelvis shift around too much. Try not to let the trunk of the body take over. Good. Da 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 da. Here we go. 3 more. And 2. And 1. Here we go with our crunches. Send the leg forwards as you swing your hips back and bring it out to the side. So swing and open. Swing. Little crunch. Keep breathing. Exhale as you crunch. Little crunch. Keep it lifted as much as you can. Keep the control as much as you can. Exhale and crunch. For 3. Stay with it. 2. And 1. We've got 4 all together. Stay with it. Here we go. Tap down, lift, press, and out. Again. 3. Lift, press. Last 2. 2. Lift, press. Last 1 here. Down. Lift and press. Good. So the leg that's lifting, we take it over the top, hug the knee in, drop that buttock down, sit tall, give yourself this moment to lengthen and hold and stop, and breathe. Take a little twist if you want to. Twist through the spine, hugging the knee in. Drop your tailbone down, keep your heart space open. Deep breaths. And as we come through the center, a little counter twist, just to stretch through this glute here. A little counter twist. And release. Now very carefully, bring the head up last, I suggest. We're going to come to stand. Slowly roll all the way up through the spine. Roll the shoulders up, let them go. And you're going to grab your chair now, or whatever you want to work with. I'm going to grab myself a chair. Now make sure that whatever you're using is safe. As you can see, I have a chair with nothing in it. But I'm going to aim to put as little weight in this as possible. Now remember, with bar, we never cling on to the bar. As you can see, you want to stabilize your surface. Mine isn't that stable, but I'm going to hopefully just have a light touch on the bar as you stand. Your hand and our body is pretty much a forearm's distance away. So when I ask you to come here, obviously arm's length, try not to crunch yourself too much into the bar. Give yourself a little bit of space here. Okay, now from here we're going to turn towards our surface. Soften both knees. Now I'm just going to gently step forwards, and you'll see why, because I want my pelvis to be underneath my shoulders here. I don't want my hips behind my shoulders. I want them pretty much underneath me. And I'm going to bend my left leg, the one closest towards you. And then from here, without my pelvis shifting about, I'm going to lengthen it backwards until it pretty much won't go back any further. And I'll be tilting my pelvis. I want to keep this tuck. Send the knee behind me. You can see the legs are split, but I haven't moved my upper body. And I'm going to press, press, and in. Press, press the leg in. Press, press. And press, press. And you'll feel this right underneath that hot pant area there, the crease between your butt and your hamstrings. So it's back, back, and back, back again. Be careful of this. And we don't want to swing the leg. Everything stays. We just press the leg behind us twice. Press, press, and press, press. Light touch on the bar, and press, press. Single counts now. We press the leg back behind us. Keep the chest nice and open. Try to maintain your form as much as possible. Slight tuck of the pelvis, belly drawn in. Now one flexed, one pointed. Flex and point and flex and point and flex and point. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Now I'm going to take a little tentative jump back behind me. This time I want to be further away from the bar. Lift up to your standing toes. Highest heel you've ever worn. I'm going to split the legs apart and then come through the center. So I'm going to basically squat into my standing leg and come through center. So lower down, splitting the legs apart. Pull the back leg towards the sky, and you've got a little bit less of a stable surface here, especially if you've got a chair like mine. So we lunge and lift and press and lift. Stay high up on those toes and press and lift. Last 4. Last 3. Use your standing leg. 2 and 1. Slowly lower the heel. Now we've still got this leg lifted. I'm hinging forwards. I'm going to open the leg to the side, center, to the side, center, out to the side. Keep the knee facing forwards. We don't want to open the knee out. So gently, as if someone's pulling your outer thigh towards the wall. Good. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Listen carefully. As we bring the knees together, I'm going to turn my standing toes out and come to a little curtsy. So the leg that lifted has now gone behind. Top arm reaches towards your wall. We take a little curtsy and connect the elbow to the knee. So this time we're squeezing into the waist. Take a really deep curtsy and a really good squeeze of the elbow to the knee. Lift the knee up. Lift it, squeeze. Down. And down. Squeeze through the waist here. Ribs towards hip. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold your curtsy and pulse. Good. Last 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Release. Now the leg that's closest towards your bar is what's been supporting you. We want to take that over the opposite knee and stretch it out. Nice little stretch here. You can wag your tail side to side. Deep breaths. Really allow this moment to allow that glute to stretch. We want to open the fascia of the body, this webbing that kind of constricts us if we don't move around too much. You know, every day we should get the towel and shimmy it all over ourselves just to get a little bit rid of that webbing that's collected overnight. Good. And then that same leg, we're going to take it forwards. I'll show you sideways into a little hamstring and calf stretch. I like to bow down over my bar. Long spine. Again, you can wag your tail side to side. Good. Lovely. Tuck the tailbone under and gently roll all the way up through the spine. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to swap my chair over so you can see. Light touch on your surface. Tuck the tailbone under. This time, squeezing the leg closest towards me. Press it back, back and in. Press, press and in. Press, press. Press, press. Ribcage nice and closed. Navel in. Press, press. And press, press. And press, press. And press, press. I'm still talking. 2 little presses back. Try not to move the pelvis or swing the body around or lean. We don't have to. All we have to do is press the leg back twice. Press, press. And press, press. Light touch. Press, press. press, press. Now abdominals are engaged to stop the pelvis moving around. So it's also really toning your abdominals, your transverse abdominis, your deeper layers. Single counts, press and press and press. Good, keep that tug of the pelvis, that bar tuck, press it back and press and press. Good. Lovely, one flexed, one point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex, point, flex. Good, so we're really squeezing that crease right underneath where that hot pant area is, the top of the leg. You can kind of feel it really working. Hold the leg back. We're going to take a really careful jump back. Come up to our standing toes, highest heel you've ever worn, and then we're going to bend into that standing leg. It'll be harder because you just used it as you split the legs apart and come up to stand. So we press back as we lean forwards, lowering that standing leg. You get lower to the floor, your back leg lifts higher. We don't want to drop the chest down. We want to keep our form. Press it back and lift. Press back and lift and press and lift and press. 5 more, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the knee forwards, lower the heel. I'm going to jump sideways so you can see I'm still hinged forwards, knee to the side, center, to the side. Now hopefully you can't see too much of my shin or foot here because I'm not turning the knee out and I'm not turning the knee in. This is about your supporting leg. Squeeze and outer seat and squeeze. 4 more, 4. Oh, I can really feel this in my other leg. Last 2, last 1. Now as I stand, turn your toes out, come into a little curtsy. We're going to lean towards our surface, stretch into the waist, bring the knee towards the elbow, back to curtsy here, squeeze and reach. Get really nice and long, squeeze the waistline. So really extend through the waist and then work it as you squeeze. Last 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. We're going to hold this curtsy, hold it. Arms reach wherever you want them. 7 for 6 and little pulses. Last 4 for 3, for 2 and 1. Step the feet together. Take hold of your bar. Pick up your toes, turn your feet parallel. Pull your hips away from the bar and let's stretch it over. Ooh, stretch into that waist. Breathe in. Exhale, turn towards the floor. Just in your upper back, wrap that arm around your rib cage. Breathe into the shoulders. Let your heart rate come down if it's gone up. And as I turn my back towards you, repeat that on the other side. Pulling the hips away from the bar. Arm reaches up and over. Deep breaths as we open. Now just into our upper back here, we're going to gently thread the arm around our bottom rib. Pull away from the bar and breathe into this kind of weird semi-twist into our upper back. Breathing deeply. And then as we turn towards our surface, be very careful. We're just going to step back into our version of a downward facing dog is. Our hips are over our feet. Arms extended, push down on the bar. We never want to cling and collapse on the bar. So fingers extending, push down, and you'll see that my back fills up rather than collapsing. So it's not rounded. It's just as flat as we can be, even if your knees are bent. Just have a little sway from side to side, and then let yourself just hang down. Get nice and loose, let everything go. And roll all the way up through the spine. Ta-da! Well done.